capitalism. Now, the other day, one of my colleagues in the Senate, Senator Padilla of California, was violently removed from a press conference and handcuffed on the ground because he tried to ask a question of the Secretary of Homeland Security. If Donald Trump's people treat a sitting U.S. Senator like that, you can only imagine how they treat a farm worker, how they treat a laborer, how they treat those who work in the hospitality industry, or those who work in eateries, or how they treat a mother or father or sister or brother or son or daughter, or how they will treat you if you ever come face to face with them. It is shameful and it is un-American. Look at Trump is trying to turn this country into a tale of two cities where the rich get richer and everyone else gets screwed. And he has a Republican majority in both the House and Senate that are so afraid of him, they're tripping over each other to see who can cave first. Now, we may not be able to stop everything, but we sure as hell can make things harder for them. 2 weeks ago, in the dark of night, they tried to push through their big ugly bill, which would throw millions of people off of health care and millions of people off of food assistance. But my colleagues and I kept them in the Rules Committee for 21 hours straight, fighting, debating, voting, and reminding them of their moral obligation to help the neediest in our country. Because these cuts in this bill are literally a matter of life and death. If it becomes law, almost 14 million people will lose health insurance. That's seniors, kids, and people with disabilities losing access to care, medication, and more. Millions more will lose their SNAP benefits. That's food off the tables of hardworking people. And all while billionaires are getting trillions in tax breaks. I mean, let me say that again, trillions in tax breaks for the richest people on this planet. And just 2 days ago, they brought Trump's rescission bill to the floor of the House of Representatives, which decimates programs that help people, like PEPFAR, a program to combat HIV/AIDS, a program that has saved 26 million lives. They cut it. They cut money for NPR and PBS. But get this, and this tells you all you need to know about who they are and what they value. They repealed the tax on gun silencers, which will cost $1.5 billion. I guess the assassins lobby got to them. You know, look, my friends, I just want to say a couple of final words about what's happening right now in Los Angeles. And let me be very clear. It is a gross and terrible abuse of power. Deploying the National Guard and active duty Marines against the wishes and desires of the sitting governor is extreme and dangerous. It is what they do in China. It is what they do in Russia. It is not what we're supposed to do in the United States of America. And let me tell you, the overwhelming number of migrants are not only peaceful, but they are essential. And by the way, the overwhelming majority of people who have been protesting, they are peaceful too. None of what Trump is doing is actually about national security or protecting the safety of Americans. Trump is deliberately escalating tensions so that he can take us into full-blown autocracy. Trump and his lackeys have already disregarded due process for countless people in this country, legal status or not. Look what he's done to Ramisa Ozturk and Mohammed Khalid. Look, I went and visited both of them in their detention centers in Louisiana. And they have been charged with nothing. They have committed no crime. They were incarcerated because Donald Trump doesn't like what they believe. Well, too bad. This is America. People can believe what they want.
That's not the right
But
phrase.
you better believe that he's coming for U.S. citizens next. He is setting a precedent to use the United States military against United States citizens. He wants us to be so scared. He wants us to be so scared that we'll let it happen, that we'll be quiet, that we'll fold, that we'll just fall into line. He wants us to turn our backs on our neighbors, and soon he'll want us to turn in our neighbors. He wants us to sit down and shut up. But are we going to let that happen? No way. People have a right to protest peacefully. We have a right to speak up and speak out. In fact, it is the highest form of patriotism. It is our duty as citizens. And let me tell you, my friends, to be silent in the face of policies we deplore is not being a good citizen. It's not patriotic. It is moral cowardice. Trump will do whatever he can to silence the dissenters, but we're not taking it. This today is how we stop our free fall into fascism, because it is happening incrementally, and it is happening quickly. We have to have each other's backs. We have to be brave, and we have to be loud, and we need to lock in for a long, hard fight. We can stop this. We can stop this if we stand together. There are almost 2,000 rallies like this one happening all over the country and in every single state. Think about how powerful that is, how powerful we all are together. And think about how pissed off Donald Trump is. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing love instead of hate. Thank you for believing in the version of America that embraces immigrants, respects the Constitution, and meets the basic needs of all. And thank you for understanding that as we fight back against this authoritarian thug, that we also must beckon our country to a higher standard. Yes! We must fight harder to make sure that we're improving the lives of everybody in this country. People who are struggling, people who've been left behind, people who have been forgotten. Thank you for believing in the American promise and the American dream. And this is important, my friends, because one of the reasons why Donald Trump made it over the finish line is because there are too many people in this country who rightfully felt that it didn't matter who was president. So we all have to do better, and we have to stand up for things, and we have to make things better, not just the status quo. And let me just close by saying, I believe we will stop authoritarianism, and we will stop Trump. This country was founded on a wholesale rejection of the monarchy. And I, for one, think we should keep that American tradition alive. We will make sure there are no kings in the United States. And you know what? Here's the deal. No kings, no kings, no kings, no kings. And here's the deal. I think they underestimated all of you. I think they thought you would be overwhelmed and too tired with all the crap that is coming your way each and every day.
Absolutely.
They are wrong. They are wrong. And so, if they want to fight, we will give them one hell of a goddamn fight. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well done, Representative McGovern.
How proud are you that he is our congressman? How proud are you? You know, you expect a politician to come up here and say sweet things, but Jim tells it like it is.